So she got a little nervous of me being back there. You have to be real careful when you're doing this exercise because I get a little more intense with that wave and she gets slightly bothered by it. Maybe she just got in a little bit of a bad habit. And now I'm just backing up using what I call the ice cream cone method. Okay, now I'm going to desensitize to rest. How about underneath her belly? Not bad. Now let's try a bullwhip. Good. Okay, now I'm going to desensitize to rest using the stick and string. I'm going to lay the string on. Let's see how sensitive she is to the string being flipped around her front legs, and she's pretty good with that. How about her back? Not bad. How about underneath her belly? How about back by her flank? A little sensitive, but not too bad. And how about around her legs? So just feeling that light pressure of that string going around her legs, she's not kicking at that, and that's a good start. Obviously, when she feels trapped by a rope, that's when she really starts to lose it. So we may build up her tolerance to that today, we may not, we'll see. So I'm just desensitizing a little bit. So I swing the string. This is what I call the windmill swing. And then I'll retreat to something easier and rest, lay that string on her. Retreat and lay it on her. Swing it. She's pretty good there. Now let's try a bullwhip. Good. And then a figure eight. Good. Now I'm going to reposition myself over here to what I call the rib position or the side position. Go left to right. Good. She's not bothered at all by that. Now I might not go all the way behind her, but I'm going to at least get over here to her hindquarter position. This is the third position, like what I call the hindquarter. Pretty good. Go the other side. So she's getting a nice long break here. And I'm desensitizing her at the same time. This will help her crave this desensitizing. Just thinking about leaving right there. So I continually change, I increase the challenge to this exercise by moving closer and closer to the back position, which is all the way behind her. I may get behind her here, we'll see. Nope. So she got a little nervous of me being back there. Let's start again. So if I had her for a week or so, I'd get her to where I could ground tie her and do this all the way around her. Maybe even within another hour I could do it. It's not my purpose to get all the way behind her. I just want to get back here a ways. Depending on the sensitivity of the horse, sometimes I might just finish at the shoulder position. But I'm going to try to get a positive out of the day. I'm going to get to a certain point where she's not moving. She's relaxed to the stick and string. I definitely don't want to quit when she starts moving away from the stick and string. I want to quit when she's standing still. Good girl. Okay, now I'm just going to be working with the flag, doing some lead beside with flag, do some desensitizing with the flag during lead beside, and also during standing still, desensitizing to rest. I want to make sure she's not reactive to this flag. What do you think about that flag? She definitely had some of this. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the stick. I'm going to rub down her back, rub down her dock, down her butt, her hamstrings, down to her hock. Make sure she's not reactive to that. It'll feel a little bit different than the stick. Take that flag up underneath her. You have to be real careful when you're doing this exercise because some horses are so reactive to the flag that they might strike at that flag when you put it up in front of them. So putting it in front of them is one of the last things that I'll do. If the horse is really reactive to the flag. So she's not real keen on me waving it over the top of her right to left. Once I get her relatively comfortable with the flag being rubbed on her, then I'll start to wave it right to left across her back. So I'm throwing it over to that offside. Then I'm also going to go front to back over her head from her ears to her tail. Good. Up and down behind her, up and down by her shoulder and neck. Then I go front to back along the ground. So all this is pretty good. Checking out pretty well. Try your other side. Remember, whatever you do on one side, you want to do it on the other. It's vital that you practice both sides. Everything you do. The only thing I would say I probably don't do on both sides is bridling and haltering. Because they attach on the left side, I'll just bridle and halter from the left side. But everything else that I can think of, I will do from both sides. I guess I'll cinch her up from the left side only, but I will throw the saddle on from both sides too. Get on from both sides, all these exercises from both sides. You want her just as comfortable on each side with whatever exercise you're doing. I get a little more intense with that wave and she gets slightly bothered by it. Not bad. Let's see if she can maintain a trot while doing this. So if she slows down to a walk, that can be a freeze response, which means she's overreacting to the flag and freezing. She might also overreact and flee. She might also overreact and fight, kick, bite, strike. So all those three things horses will do. Usually it's an order of they'll flee first. Once they're okay with it, then sometimes they'll freeze a little, sometimes they'll fight. Okay, I really like that. She feels good. What do you think about that flag? Now I'm going to go to my desensitizing positions. Desensitize to rest with the flag. If you haven't seen my Desensitizing Secrets Masterclass Level 1, make sure to check that out. It's all this groundwork desensitizing with the flag, the stick and string, a plastic sheet, a tarp, helping a horse be relaxed to things that otherwise would scare them. I'm not teaching her to be dull to it, I'm teaching her to relax to it. There's a big difference. It's a subtle difference, but the consequences of it are big. You want a horse to be relaxed, not dull. Okay, I'm going to desensitize a little bit with this rope, the lead rope, checking her back. That's about where she was towards the beginning once I've kind of fixed that backing. Very good. Now what I'm going to do is just flip that lead rope over her head, see how she handles that. Pretty good, no reaction to that. Now I'm going to desensitize around her legs and body with the lead rope. So this lead rope is heavier. This is a yacht rope. It's a 14-foot yacht rope. It's high quality, and it's what I like to, it's weighted. It has a weighted core. So I like to use this. It's much more effective for a training tool as a lead rope. Once you feel a weighted yacht lead rope like this, you probably won't ever go back to a light, cheap rope. Okay, so I'm rubbing on her. I'm rubbing on her her flank. I'm going to kind of rub down her butt a little bit. Just want to make sure she's okay with me standing here. Now I'm going to ask her for lateral flexion. My goal here would be for her to laterally flex and keep her feet still. As you can see, she's kind of rooting up. I'm not pulling very hard at all because she's sensitive. So I don't have to, as long as she's trying, I don't have to pull any harder. But you see, she's pretty straight here. She's not given to me. So I'm just going to wait on her. So this may take us a little while here to get her to laterally flex and keep her feet still. There, she laterally flexed a little bit right there. Release. Ask her again. So there's a good chance that she can't do this in the saddle either. Could be wrong. Maybe she can do it in a bit, but not in the halter. Good girl. So all I'm trying to get is a little bit of bend and no movement of the feet. Good girl. But I'm staying back here by her flank, because if she's going to step on me, she'll step on me with that left front, that inside front. Good girl. And it may be simply that my cue is a little bit different than what she's used to. But she definitely, when she feels pressure, she wants to root up. We can work on that and get her to not do that anymore by releasing my pressure when she does the right thing, which is not rooting up, but reaching towards me. Good girl. She's a very bendy mare. She has a lot of flexibility to her. I probably missed my release there. Should have released right there. Release early and often when you're first training. When you're first teaching a concept, release early and often. That way they start to figure out that they're doing the right thing. If I get greedy and expect too much from her, then she's going to start getting confused because she thinks she's going to start thinking she's doing the wrong thing because I haven't released my pressure. Watch that inside front leg. Try not to get stepped on if you're doing this. Just stay back there by the hip. So I want her to get consistent at laterally flexing and keeping her feet still. And eventually I want her to reach all the way over to her girth and actually touch her girth. And she'll probably get there today. Good girl. Good girl. Very good. So you almost reached to her girth there. That's close. I like Blue because she's really intelligent and she's trying to do the right thing. She's not trying to get away with something. She's not trying to fight me. She's trying to do the right thing. I just got to teach her what that is. And like I mentioned, she's pretty good with most of her groundwork. This, I'd say, there's a little hole there as she wants to root out against that. Good girl. See, I'm always looking for holes in a horse's training. That was very good. That's why I take them through the Luke Brown method. So if I take her through the Luke Brown method, the foundational groundwork that I do in my training program, then I can see where all the holes are. And when I find the holes, I fix the holes, and then usually the puzzle comes together. I build all the puzzle pieces, and then I actually create the puzzle. I create the full picture. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's really good. So she's keeping her feet still. She's laterally flexing all the way to her girth. Beautiful. I'm going to yield her hindquarters. And let's go to this side. Desensitize a little bit on this side. Remember, I'm always testing. Is she okay with that lead rope around her butt, around her legs? If she's not, I want to work with that because that's a hole. But so far, there's no hole there. I think it's when she feels trapped that the hole shows up. So let's laterally flex to the right. Just ask for a little more give. Right there. Good girl. So she's really picking it up so quickly that my thought is she's probably gotten pretty good at this. Maybe she just gotten a little bit of a bad habit. But she's had this before for sure. Try to not get stepped on here. Stick to her backside. And release. Good girl. One mistake people will make, it's a big one, and that is they'll start asking for lateral flexion like this, and then the horse starts moving, and then they release the pressure and say, what am I doing wrong? That happens over and over again in my private lessons, in my clinics. People will they'll ask, then the horse will start doing the wrong thing, and then they'll release their pressure. And they'll ask, what am I doing wrong? And I say, you weren't doing anything wrong until you asked me, what am I doing wrong? Because you stopped asking them to do something. So set up your ask and then wait for them to start to respond correctly. They don't have to get it perfect, but they have to start moving in the right direction. And once they do, release your pressure then. So have a very clear picture in your mind of what you're trying to accomplish here. So right now I'm trying to accomplish lateral flexion with no movement of the feet. That's what I'm trying to get. So I'm not going to release if there's movement of the feet. I'm going to release when there's no movement of the feet and she gives me just a little bit. And then I'll start to build on that. I want her to give me a little bit more and then a little bit more. And eventually I want her to reach right here and touch her girth, which she will do. So there, oh, she stepped on herself. I'm waiting for her. So even that overreaction to her stepping on herself is indicative of how panicked she feels when her feet feel trapped. Because she flipped that right foot up so fast that she actually caught me in my calf a little bit. Because she stepped on herself. So that's going to be the big hole that she has. So the question I have for myself today is, do I want to try to fix that hole? Do I want to try to fix her claustrophobia to ropes on her, to her feet feeling trapped? I'm leaning towards yes, I want to try to fix that before I actually trim her. The issue could be every once in a while I'll get, and it's been mares, in the last 10 years or so I've had like 3 different mares that they got worse and worse as I tried to get them to yield to rope pressure on their legs. And I eventually learned that those mares I just had to leave their legs alone. I could still trim them, but I didn't want to make them feel trapped. And I know that sounds counterintuitive and counterproductive to the horse's education, and it's not something I would have ever admitted to years ago, but every once in a while you get a horse that just, they're going to get more and more angry if they're trapped. But with her personality, her good nature, I just don't think that's going to be her. I think she just panics. I don't think she's going to get mad. I think she's going to get panicked, and that I can help her through. Just keep working on this. Some people will teach that every time you pick up on that lead rope or the rein, that should connect to their feet with movement. But my opinion is that you should teach them to separate. I want them to not connect to their feet, and I want it to connect to their mind and their body, where if I ask for lateral flexion, they keep their feet still and just laterally flex. Then if I ask them to laterally flex and move their feet, I want them to move their feet. But I want them to be capable of bending, relaxing, and standing still. And that's one of my requirements for the Luke Brown foundational training. Good girl. Good girl. So she struggles a little bit more on this side, actually. She felt lighter at first. Oh, that was better. But she struggles to keep her feet still. She really wants to move those feet on this side, bending to the right. So remember, it's the release of pressure that teaches. So she stops moving, she bends. I release my pressure right then. Ask. Stop moving. So just wait for her. I have to be willing to just wait, set up the pressure and wait. If I set it up and wait and just watch for her response, and once she responds correctly, doesn't move her feet and flexes. Again, she doesn't have to flex all the way right now. She just has to flex some. I want to consistently keep asking this until she won't move her feet when I first pick up on that rein, or the lead rope in this case. Good girl. So I might do this 100 times, I might do it 200 times, I might do it 1,000 times. I'm going to keep working with her until I can pick up on that lead rope and she doesn't move her feet. But up to this point, you see every time she feels pressure, she wants to move those feet. Like I said, you just got to be willing to wait them out. And this is also good for a horse that's claustrophobic. A horse that's claustrophobic with their feet, this is helpful. So if they can yield to pressure with the lead rope and the halter and not move her feet, that helps. It's going to help with her feet because she learns how to stay still with pressure. She's getting better at bending, but she's certainly moving her feet too much. There we go, there's one. So that time she laterally flexed. Now I didn't ask for lateral flexion all the way because she was willing to keep her feet still. As soon as she gave to me a little bit, and then didn't move her feet. So that's twice in a row. Really good. Now with an exercise like this, I like to do it twice on each side when I'm first teaching it. At least twice. Because I want to get her decent at it first on both sides, then go back to each side and try it one more time, and then it kind of solidifies in her mind what to do. So doing that twice is really helpful when you're first training them to do this exercise. Once she's really good at it, I might just do it once on each side and move on. So she's either keeping her feet still or she's only moving a little bit, which is good. Excellent. Good girl. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to yield her hindquarters and go back to the other side. Move the front end over. Good girl. There's quite a bit of rooting at first, and now you can see there's a little habit there of kind of rooting up, but I'm just going to hold on to her. I'm not going to jerk down hard if she starts rooting right now, because she's not far enough along for me to have a response like that to her. Most of the time I'm just going to pick up and hold and let her figure it out, and once she flexes, release that pressure, and pretty soon the head tossing and the rooting just goes away, because she knows what the answer is, what the response I'm looking for is. And anything else, she'll just feel pressure, consistent pressure. Now there, she moved her feet. Stick with her. Good girl. She won't be perfect at this today, but I want to get her at least 90% there. Now, I don't get a horse 90% good at their exercise the first time, every time. Some exercises I can get 90% there, and some I might get 20%. Just depends on what we're doing and the struggles the horse has. Now she's wanting to move those feet on this side. No big deal. Stick with her. Good girl. Good. Change sides. Yield the hindquarters. Bring the forequarters over. Oh, that was beautiful. Look how well that girl bends. Good girl. I love it. Okay, now I've got my ranch rope or Reata rope out, and I'm going to start working with her with this rope. I want to teach her to yield to pressure with this rope, and I also want to teach her to wear the pressure of this rope. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to double my 14-foot lead rope so I don't have it on the ground. I'm going to keep my lariat in the lead rope hand. And I'm going to just shorten this up actually more. I want to have some pretty good control of her head. So if she starts to lunge forward, I'm going to be able to control her head. So I'm just going to swing it around and see if she's okay with that. Maybe throw it on her butt. So there you go. There's where the hole starts to present itself, right? She's not real comfortable with that rope being on her leg. So I've got a hold of her lead rope, And I'm just gonna kind of help her wear this a little bit. I'm not gonna pull very hard, but I'm just gonna pull up just a little bit, try to stay out of her path, and just see if I can get her to wear this a little. So who knows, something in her past might have happened where she got trapped in something. For one thing I am for certain is that she was never taught to yield to rope pressure on her legs. She's taught to panic, whether it was self-taught or taught by human. She panics when something's on her legs. So I'm just bumping on that a little bit, teaching her to wear it. Good girl. Then I might just take it back off. Yeah. Throw it on her butt again. See, I'm interested. I'm much less interested in trimming her and much more interested in fixing this issue. Because if I can help her overcome this issue of feeling panicked when her back feet are touched, back legs really, if I can help her through this, then the shoeing issue will go away. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to that hondo, shorten up my lead rope a little bit, and then I'm going to pull on her just a little. Pull and release. Pull and release. Pull and release. Ultimately, my goal would be with this exercise to actually get her to move her hips towards me, not away from me. But I let her move around me, just try to keep her on my left side. I'm going to try not to make this a traumatic experience for her. I'm just going to try to work with her just a little bit here and there, bumping on that lead or that rope, that lariat rope a little bit. Just helping her learn that it's not going to hurt her. So she's kind of maintaining a little bit more of a smooth gait around me. She's kind of walking and jogging around me without overreacting too much. So I don't necessarily want her moving like this, but she's not being jolty or reactive in her movement, not as much. Now what I'll do is, as soon as, I'm just going to keep kind of pulling on her, as soon as she stops, I'm going to take that off and reset, bring her to another spot. Again, I'll rope her butt again. I like that she's licking and chewing. See, she's a little less reactive that time. See there, I'm pulling on her a little bit harder and she's not jumping forward. So she's kind of freezing a little, but it's actually a slight progress from just exploding forward. Shorten up my lead rope a little bit. Now, if you're ever working with a lariat rope like this, you want to make sure that you have good management of a rope like this. You do not want to work with a lariat rope if you're not an expert with a lariat rope. If you get caught up in this rope and it gets caught on her, it can end in tragedy. So you got to be really careful with a rope like this. Now you can do it with other ropes, other kinds of ropes. And that's what I'd recommend if you're not competent with a lariat rope. Okay, she's kind of wearing that. Actually, I'll just release my pressure. Now I'm going to try to get a little bit of movement. But my goal is for her to move her hips towards me. If I can get her to do that a little bit, she's doing well. So she's wearing that a lot better. I'm kind of tugging on her a little. She's not as worried about it. And even if I feel her start to shift her hips towards me and doesn't take a step yet, I'm going to release my pressure. My pressure is bump, 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 bump. That's what I'm doing. Bump, 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 bump. Now I might add in a little, ask her to back. Right there. So I'm supporting what I want her to do by asking her to back. Now I'm just bumping a little bit. Bump, 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 bump. Then I'm going to support with that back. Right there. Good. She didn't back, but she leaned back. Ask her again. She took a deep breath. She's licking and chewing. Right there. See, it's hard for her to think about backing into that pressure. She wants to run from it, right? There. Good girl. Good girl. And you see how I'm kind of moving that rope all around? I'm keeping my lead hand up here by her neck just in case she jumps. Okay, right there. Good. So I almost didn't even have to support with my lead rope. Ask her to back. So if she backs up, that's totally fine. I want her to eventually kind of back and turn her hip towards me. So support with that lead rope right there. Ask her again. Right there. That time I didn't do anything with the lead rope. Now she went forward. Ask her to back. Right there. Good girl. And I keep just flipping that rope around, letting her wear it, getting her okay with it on her legs. So she has this idea that it's going to hurt her. So we're going to try to change her idea, change her mind here. Good. Bump, 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 bump. Right there. Good girl. Ask her again. Good girl. Might rub on her a little. Now see my left hand, my lead hand. It's in a position where if she were to jump towards me, it would push me out of the way. Okay, let's ask just with the rope. Oh, beautiful. See, she's starting to figure this out. Ask with the rope. Beautiful. See how she turned her hip towards me? So eventually I can back her in a circle towards me. Try not to get too greedy. Support with my lead rope. Good. The lower that gets on her leg, the worse it is. Ask her again. Good. Ask her again. Right there. Good girl. So firstly, I'm teaching her to wear the rope. Second, I'm teaching her to yield to the rope. So now I'm teaching her to yield right there. Good girl. Ask her again. Good girl. Now it gets down there lower. As long as it's up above the hock, she's pretty good. Ask her again. Good girl. Good girl. See, this, I'm doing this not necessarily because I'm going to use this to trim her, but just because this is a hole in her training. This is something she's not good at. And if she has a hard time being trimmed and she panics and kicks with a rope on her back legs, like if a farrier tries to pick a foot up with a rope, then it's something we need to work through. So bump, 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 bump. Just wait on her, right? Now I'm going to try to discourage forward movement a little bit with my lead rope. If she tries to move forward, I'm going to bump on her or pick up that lead rope. I want those hips to come towards me. Bump back. Good. Very good. So that time she started to move backwards without any lead rope help. Bumping, 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 and release. Good girl. I keep letting it go down below the hocks, just rub it on her a little bit with it, come back up. Right there, release.